So if you're like me, you've probably woken up to something very special this morning. 2 Bannerlord videos. Which one do I pick first? Ooh, a Heph podcast. I think I might click that. Yeah, nice. Hey guys, well, in all seriousness guys, we have a lot to talk about, we've got lots of information, so let's get right into it. So before I talk about all the sexiness in the videos, I'm going to read out some of the stuff they posted on the Tale World's website, because the information here is super interesting and I think you guys would like it too. So I'm going to use my fantastic reading skills to read it out for you. If you don't want to listen to this, you can skip here and we can get straight into the goodness. Key battle improvements. Battles are at the very core of this series and play better than ever in the latest installment. Advanced formations. Merge and split forces at your behest, with intuitive but powerful control over the movement, form and behaviour of every unit! Order heavy infantry to hold together, shoulder to shoulder, in a slowly advancing but near impenetrable shield wall, or launch your cavalry in lightning charges using the scheme formation. Battlefield AI. AI commanders can execute complex tactics, utilising the advanced formation options to present a formidable challenge. Their behaviour is drawn from actual historical tacticians. For example, Alexander the Great, who used his superior cavalry forces to rout their counterparts in the opposing army, therefore delivering a crushing blow to their enemy's main force. This not only creates the feeling of authentic medieval battle, but also proves effective in-game, as in reality. Sergeant System. Commanders now designate units to other lords in battle, including the player! Execute the orders issued by your commander throughout the fight, and use your own instincts to do your part and help secure victory on the field of battle. Lead the horse archers as they skirmish and harass the enemy to disrupt their lines before your allies finish them off, or take control of the cavalry and charge into the fray to devastate the entire units at once. Key combat updates. Mount&Blade II Bannerlord also features greatly updated combat, which builds on previous installments in a number of ways while retaining its intuitive, direction-based core that made it so popular among players. Directional shield blocking and shield bash. These two features revitalize the sword and board gameplay, making it a more engaging experience more than ever! Blocking in the wrong direction will not necessarily get you killed, but it will cause your shield to break faster, leaving you defenseless against missiles and vulnerable against multiple foes. Shield bashing, a highly requested feature, temporarily stuns your opponents and knocks them back, lowering their defenses and giving you room to breathe. Attack chaining. Swings that complete their motion can now be chained into following up attacks, which can also catch your opponents off guard after a miss. Unbalanced weapons such as hammers and axes also use the momentum of the first swing for faster follow-up. That's fucking scary. Improved animation and combat engine. Huge effort has gone into making Mount&Blade II Bannerlord's combat as fluid and visually appealing as possible. Damage dealt is now calculated with a great deal of physical depth, factoring in the weight distribution of every individual weapon. This means that whether you are executing a perfectly timed thrust while thundering towards a hapless archer on horseback, or shooting an arrow across the battlefield to whittle down your opponent's infantry forces before the melee, the game will understand all the forces involved and produce a consistent, realistic, and satisfying result every time. Okay, so as you can tell, I'm not the best at reading, and I'm really sick if you can't tell, but anyway, let's get into it. So, the videos itself were just fantastic, you know. First of all, I loved the scale of the battle, it was huge. There were so many things happening at once, so I'm going to try and break this down. So let's start off with the attacks, because that's something I instantly was like, whoa, that's pretty cool. And they mentioned it, like, well, I mentioned it just before, saying attack chaining, which was that constant like momentum swing that was doing like non-stop, which I thought was extremely like cool. But then when they mentioned that can happen to hammers, so say you swing your hammer, you miss, but then you just swing instantly again. That is terrifying, and I can't wait to try that out. I love the formations. It feels like you have control of everything now. That's the only thing I didn't like about Mount&Blade Warband and the ones before that, is that I felt very limited to what I could do, and you sort of had to just use other techniques. So, example, if you wanted people to guard you, you would just tell them to follow you. There is a guard option, but we'll get into all the formations in a bit, because there's a lot. I love the impact on the cav charges, like when he thrusts his lance into the enemy, they actually go flying. It's the same when you hit people as well. Sometimes they do flips, and I would assume like the bigger the weapon and the bigger the impact, the more like far they would go. So the ragdoll's fantastic, and the blood looks pretty cool as well. It's not crazy, but you can see it. So the AI seem really smart. I'm really looking forward to fighting battles, especially when they've actually got tactics. I would assume every faction would have their own type of tactics, obviously having different army rosters. You know, some armies having, you know, just horses, some armies having more infantry, some armies having more archers. You know, there's so many different ways you're going to be able to fight these battles, and so many different challenges, and that's pretty much what I'm looking forward to the most. Like, the actual challenges of fighting these different types of armies and what they're going to throw at you. Obviously, they use the Alexander the Great tactic as an example, and I thought it was really cool because I personally love Alexander the Great. I thought he was fantastic. So yeah, I think the AI are going to be really, really fun. Not just as on your team, but also the enemy's team. And I love how just chaotic, I think that's the best word to use it, the battle was. Especially on the second video, which was the horse archer one. At one point where everyone's just fighting in the middle on both sides, and it is just chaos. There's people flying everywhere. There's just death, there's destruction. And I just love how crazy it is. You know, that's what a battle would be like of that scale. Just be nuts, just chaos everywhere. So, yeah, looking great. So throughout the two videos, we saw some text pop up in the top middle of the screen, and I'm assuming this is a different general of the same faction or of the same team, helping you out with orders. And the army is split between different roles. Now, I'm not sure who decides this. I would assume you get to decide. Depending how high up you are in ranks, I would say before the battle, because obviously in these two videos you're obviously controlling the cav. The first one being the sergeant, and the second one would be the horse archers. And I think that's really, really cool because I saw all the different banners. You saw a lot of different flags. Well, you know, 2 different flags on the army. Well, that's something I noticed instantly, and I like this. So in Warband, if you joined a battle with a fellow general of the same faction, or a lord I should say, each person would control their own army, so all their infantry, all their archers, and all their cavalry. This would make it a lot more structured, I would say, and I think these would make battles a lot more, I would say, steady. I'm not sure what the best word is to use here, but I think this is definitely a great decision. I think this is going to be great, and I think, how many times can I say I think? I just think it's just, oh my god, I said it again. It's fantastic. So shield bashing is confirmed. I'm not sure if they've confirmed it before, but confirmed, thumbs up. This is really cool. Obviously a big mod feature in many Warband mods, each having their own sort of take on it. I think most mods sort of it sort of functions the same way as a kick, you know, sort of stuns your opponent. Some of them just sort of knock them away for a few seconds to give you breathing room. That's how they like to explain it on here, of how it will work in Bannerlord. So that's really, really cool. Not surprised they added that in. I think that's a very good decision. Directional blocking is really cool as well. I'm not sure how far you can block. I'm assuming you can hold it above your head, so that'd be really cool for forming like testudos and stuff like that. That'd be really fun. But also, if you don't block in a certain way from an incoming attack, like a sword swipe, it will damage your shield more, which will obviously break, and like they said, you know, leave you vulnerable from arrows and multiple targets. So yeah, I think that's really, really cool. Good job. Yeah. Okay, so this frame we get to see, I think, all of the controls. I'm sure there's more. But so we have position, we have charge, follow me, guard me, stop, attach, which is a really cool one, retreat, and return. So most of them are self-explanatory. Guard, which I mentioned before, I would assume they sort of stay around you. I think it depends how many troops you have. I would say the more troops, the more space they would give you and sort of lock you into an area so you can't be touched. I don't know, but it's really cool. Or say you've only got like 3 troops, you know, they sort of, you know, have each end and just sort of make sure no one can hit you. Maybe if they have shields, they'll block arrows as well, I would assume. Looks really cool. Stop, pretty simple. Attach, I would say this is like attaching squads together. So at the start, we saw lots and lots of different groups of infantry. It wasn't the infantry was in one huge line. It seemed to be like broken up into a few different ones. So I am assuming, say one little group has taken more casualty than the other group, you can sort of attach them together and make them a super group. Or say you've got archers as well as infantry who need guarding, you can sort of attach them together. I don't know, but that's it's a cool looking feature. I can't wait to try it out and see what it really does. And of course the other ones are pretty self-explanatory, like I said. But yeah, very exciting stuff. Okay, so I could keep going. The horsehair and the hair on the helmet looks really cool. I know a few people were really impressed with the animation of that, and and the sand as well blowing in the wind. That looks super cool. But I think that's about it for this. I don't want to drag this on for ages because I don't think there was that much to talk about, because a lot of this we've actually seen already. Of course, I'm probably going to miss something major out. I'm just waiting for the comment section. It's going to be fantastic. But guys, let me know what you think. Sorry for sounding sick. You know, I didn't choose to be sick. Anyway, but guys, thanks for watching. Definitely start a discussion in the comment section. If there's anything that you feel like you want to talk about, I'll try and reply to what I can if I want to. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. I hope you're as hyped as I am. If you like the video, make sure to drop a like because I'm sick. Every like will definitely make me better. Anyway, here's some of my other videos you can go check out if you want to go see more Bannerlord goodness, and I will see you next time.